When you hear the word faith, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's about believing in something you can't prove. Kind of like the end of the road for asking questions. But what if that's completely backwards? Today, we're going to dig into an ancient concept from the Buddhist texts, a Pali word called Saddha, that might just flip our whole understanding of faith on its head.
So yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? Is faith the destination, the final stop where you just accept things? Or could it actually be the starting line? We're about to see how this idea of Saddha makes a really powerful case for it being the start of the race. All right, so to really get this, we've got to go right to the source. Let's break down the term itself and figure out what it truly means.
The word is Saddha from the Pali language. Now, it often gets translated as faith, but when you look at its roots, it's way more dynamic than that. This isn't about passive belief. It's about confidence, a deep-seated trust, a real conviction. So think of it less like a blind leap in the dark and more like planting your foot firmly on the first step of a well-lit staircase. This is the real heart of it, right here. On one side, you've got what we might call blind belief. You just passively accept something, and that's usually where the conversation ends. But on the other side, you have saddha, confident trust. And it's the complete opposite. It's not the end of the road, it's the active starting point that actually gets you excited to begin the journey and find out for yourself.
Now, this confident trust isn't just some vague feeling in the air. It has to be placed in something reliable. The early texts say it starts with having confidence in the teacher. As this passage puts it, nahi tathagata vitatam bananti, which means, for the truth finders do not speak falsely. The logic is pretty simple. You trust the guide because you're confident they aren't trying to mislead you. It's a rational trust in a credible source.
So where are you supposed to direct this trust? Well, the texts are super clear about this. They lay out these three distinct pillars that your confidence can rest on. First up, there's confidence in the Buddha, the teacher himself. One passage says that even for those who have just a mere measure of confidence in me, all are heading for a good destination. Now, this isn't a call for blind worship. It's more like trusting a skilled mountain guide. You have enough confidence in their experience to at least start following their directions.
Second, confidence is placed in the Dhamma, or the teachings. And this part is so cool. Listen to how the teachings are described. They are uttano vivato pakasito chinna palotako. That means they are well explained, open, and revealed. And that last word, chinna palotako, literally means with the patchwork torn off. The idea is that the teaching is straightforward, with nothing hidden. It's basically an open invitation to come and see for yourself, not just to take someone's word for it.
And the third pillar is the Sangha, the community of people who are on the same path. The texts say you should find a nipukam sahayam, a prudent companion, someone wise and good living to walk with. This is huge because it means you're not out there on your own. Your own confidence gets a major boost when you see other people seriously investigating and practicing right alongside you. Okay, so what's really amazing here is that this confidence, this saddha, is never just a passive feeling. It's a catalyst. It is the spark that lights a fire and gets a whole chain reaction going, moving you from a simple conviction right into meaningful action. And this slide gives us the perfect roadmap for that process. This is the path to what's called stream entry, the first big stage of awakening, and it's laid out in 4 clear steps. It all starts with saparisa samsevo, which is just hanging out with good, wise people. That naturally leads you to saddhamma savanam, hearing the true teaching. Once you've heard it, that inspires you to apply yoniso manasikaro, or careful, wise attention. And all of that leads to the final step, dhammanu dhamma patipati, the actual practice. See how that flows? Confidence gets you in the door, but then you actually have to start walking. And this process of active practice starts to build one of the most important relationships in the whole system, the dynamic interplay between confidence and wisdom.
Here's a great way to picture it. Think of confidence, or saddha, as the hand that makes the decision to reach out. It's that initial impulse, the trust that there's something valuable here that's worth checking out. And then wisdom, or panya in Pali, is what that hand actually grasps. It's the direct personal insight you gain because you did the reaching, because you investigated and sought for yourself. On this path, you really can't have one without the other. And, the texts themselves make this crystal clear. This one passage draws a really powerful line in the sand. It says, Anyatveva sadhaya ahamitam janami ahamitam pasami. That translates to, apart from confidence, I know this, I see this. It's a declaration. It's about moving beyond just trusting something to being able to say, I have seen this with my own eyes. Confidence gets you to the door, but you're the one who has to walk through it.
So you can probably tell by now, Saddha isn't some one-and-done decision you make. It's actually described as an inner faculty, a kind of mental muscle that you can and must cultivate and strengthen over time. And this slide shows us exactly where it fits in the big picture. Saddha is listed as the very first of what are called the 5 powers, or Panchabalani. It's the foundation. That initial confidence is what sparks virya, your energy and effort. That energy supports sati, or mindfulness. Strong mindfulness leads to samadhi, deep concentration, and it's from that stable platform of concentration that panya, real wisdom, arises. It's this beautiful, interconnected system, and it all kicks off with that first seed of confident trust.
So, let's bring it all home. It comes down to this. Saddha is not the destination. It is not the final stop where you switch off your brain. It is the very engine that powers the entire journey. It's the fuel that gives you the energy to engage, to investigate, and ultimately to discover the truth for yourself.
Which brings us right back to where we began, but hopefully with a totally new perspective. So instead of asking ourselves what we should have faith in, maybe the better question to ask is this. What path would you be willing to walk if you began not with blind belief, but with a deep, confident trust in your own capacity to see the way forward?